right, folks.
Yeah,
they
warm the jail up, please.
Join our simulcast with the Tom Jordan Morning Show in just a second. We're going to be talking with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee with Tom, Sybil, and Bill Bellamy, folks. As we said, the devastation continues there in Houston. Yes, Tom, you there? We have Congresswoman on our end here. Congresswoman, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
All right, hold tight 1 second. 20 seconds, we'll be back live on the Tom Jordan Morning Show. Folks, as I said, the folks right now, you have relatives in Port Arthur or Beaumont. You should be checking on them, making sure they get to safety. Water is rising tremendously in that area east of Houston, in the Golden Triangle is being impacted as well. And so, again, we want anybody who's in those areas, check on them now, get them to shelter. The water is rising extremely fast there in the Golden Triangle. So here we go. We're about to join Tom Jordan Morning Show. Yes, Congresswoman is with us, guys.
Okay. Roland.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
You want to know my occupation? I get paid to rock the nation. Roland.
Hold it now.
From Washington, D.C., Roland Martin. Good morning.
Tom Jordan, good morning. Sybil and Bill Bellamy, good morning to you as well. Let's get right to it. Houston being devastated by, of course, Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey has went back to the Gulf of Mexico and has re-entered land. It is dumping massive amounts of rain on the Golden Triangle there, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Lake Charles has been spared. But last night, Tom, in 6 hours, 11 inches of rain dumped on Port Arthur. One of the storm shelters there also is being flooded. Let's go right to the phone lines. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Houston. Congresswoman, again, of course, Houston is still being impacted by flooding. We'll get 1 or 2 inches of rain today. But now, with the rain moving east, moving towards Louisiana, we're going to see even more devastation.
We absolutely are, and let me first of all thank you so very much. And Roland, we know you've come from this area, and all of these are your friends and neighbors as well. Many people don't know that we are 50 feet below sea level, and we are still flooding. The Houstonians are resilient, but they need our help. I spent from early morning Sunday as I was came out in a high water vehicle from my home into the Georgia Brown Convention Center to help, and I've been there ever since trying to ensure that those people are safe and sound, but also going out to try and help with rescues and as well looking at the devastation down I-10 East in the north side, northeast. And I hope those who can hear me, if you are still needing rescue, which is my #1 priority, that everyone that needs to be rescued is rescued. To make sure that you put a signal outside your home, a towel or a sheet. But help is on the way, and we're looking forward to recovery. Our job as members of the United States Congress is to get that aid package and to make sure that the president complies or keeps the promises that he made, and that is that we have full funding in an aid package to help people return to their homes, their jobs, their families, and as well children return to school.
Congresswoman, when you talk about the rescue efforts there, where do we stand for when it comes to many of the black areas of Houston? We also, as you go east, now you're talking about that rain impacting Crosby, Texas, Barrett Station, Baytown. I've got tons of relatives in those areas. Now you're talking about Port Arthur, Beaumont as well. Again, significant number of black folks who live along that corridor, that I-10 corridor.
The impact on minority communities was extensive. Some areas did not flood, but as we go east, that is a real question. We have now the full impact of 12,000 Texas National Guard. We have the full services of the Coast Guard. And we are hoping that as this storm, as it has already hit the Golden Triangle, including Beaumont, that those individuals will be immediately rescued. We know that those centers are flooding. Unfortunately, people were still in the eye of the storm. My goal is to make sure that as it goes east, all of those local officials take advantage of the federal resources. FEMA is here. We have opened up FEMA centers I'd ask that if you get to high ground, you can use your iPhone to register and get a tracking number for FEMA. But we're going to make sure that no matter what income you are and what racial background you are, we've got to pay attention. That was the case in Houston. A lot of the African-American neighborhoods were underwater, particularly in the Northeast. That's where we keep going back and back and back. To Lakewood yesterday, Forest Green yesterday, we were out looking for people to make sure that they were rescued. We took an ambulance up to the Forest Green area and were able to take a bedridden person out. So there's still people there, and if you still have power and you need to be rescued, please call 311-911 at this point, 911, to be able to secure those resources. And we are paying attention to, we're paying attention to social media. Those of you who still are able to listen to the Magic 102, please, across the nation, please, if your relatives are there, let us know, and we're trying to get them out.
Tom, social media is playing a huge part in this. Yesterday, one of my cousins, of course, she lived in Kingwood, posted a message of distress on Facebook, and about 20 minutes later, a boat arrived, picking her up, taking her to safety. Again, that Sybil is showing you how Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is playing a role in alerting people who actually is in need. Sybil, go ahead.
Roland and Congresswoman, we were talking about the people who are having immediate medical needs, such as dialysis several times a week, that kind of thing. What kind of provisions, what kind of situations are people finding that are having to go into shelter situations?
Thank you. So first of all, I want to also thank all the volunteers. Some of these folks that are rescuing people, volunteer people. The dialysis issue is of concern. My office is trying to work on making sure that the dialysis teams that are needing to come in are getting helicoptered in. We're trying to make sure that we get those people into hospital settings. Right now at the George R. Brown Convention Center, we have a what we call a DMAC system that's just come down, DMAC team, full medical team with tents that can do dialysis down here at the George R. Brown Convention Center, and so they can do dialysis right on site.
Congresswoman, obviously people are talking about relief funds. There are many out there. Of course, we have the BlackAmericaWeb.com relief fund. The mayor also has ghcf.org. And let's just be honest, Congresswoman, there are a lot of people who are not, fond of sending money to the Red Cross because of past issues when it comes to disbursement, helping folks directly and immediately. Are you encouraging folks to give directly to the mayor's relief fund? That way it gets to those folks as well?
Well, absolutely. Surprisingly, Roland, let me not use that term because I lived through Katrina and Rita, and I know the feelings about the Red Cross. They have been stand-up here, and so we thank them for the work that they're doing. But we were encouraging the support of the mayor's fund to be able to get immediate dollars to individuals. We also know that FEMA is on the ground, and FEMA has the opportunity and the structure to give those current dollars to people who are in apartments or need money as we go to be able to recover. And that's why we asked everyone. I was at the FEMA Center last night, and a homeless person came up, and we said, fill out and get your tracking number. We're not turning anyone away. And at this point, the real message is to the president that we have got to keep the voice of unity, and those dollars, I'm writing an aid package. This is going to be more than Hurricane Sandy and more than Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina was devastating. This is catastrophic because it is continuing, and even though we are a little relief now, we expect 2 inches, our bayous, our rivers, our lakes are still overflowing, and we're still rescuing today. 30 to 40,000 houses may have been destroyed. 500,000 cars may have been destroyed. We're going to have a multi-billion-dollar devastation here in this region.
Congresswoman, I don't know if you can talk about it now because we have the music, but at some point, can we talk about the September 1st deadline for the hurricane damage claims under the Texas law? September 1st is Friday, and a lot of people are saying, and we're getting mixed messages about whether this is going to happen or not.
Well, I've asked that it be waived and not be in place for at least 6 months. And I'll be working with the Congressional Black Caucus. I just wanted to say thank you to all of my fellow colleagues in the Congressional Black Caucus and all of my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats alike, who have been calling. But we need to work to make sure that the state does not do that. It is impossible for that state law to go in place and people's lives to be salvaged and recovered. It is important for the state to know what reality they're dealing with.
Anton, real quick, there was a federal rollback of Obama regulations dealing with flooding as well that Trump pulled back a few days before. Hopefully the president will also reverse that decision. That shows you, again, what happens in natural disasters, why policy matters.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.